Okay, I want to talk about how to approach these videos. And let me just read something. This is this is actually largely from Eckhart Tolle. And another book I highly recommend is called The New Earth. It comes from, I mean, what he said is that he read in the book of Isaiah and he read in the book of Revelations this particular verse that says, "And there will be a new heaven and a new earth." And so he titled his book The New Earth. And because of Jesus saying that the kingdom of heaven is within you, what Eckhart is saying is that when we approach things with a tiny little shift in consciousness, and those little shifts just keep happening, that eventually that kingdom of heaven that is within us creates a new heaven that we're experiencing because we're starting to see our wholeness. And then when we start to see our wholeness, well, now we're living with lots of people that see that, and therefore we're having a different experience on earth. And according to the Old Testament and the New Testament, in Western Christianity, they call it the New Earth as well. So he then says the premise of his book is the same thing that I want to talk about here and make sure that this gets expressed. The main purpose is not to add any information or give you any new beliefs or convince you of anything. It's just to make tiny little shifts in our consciousness. Consciousness, again, just means awareness. Now, if you dive into Bruce Lipton's work in his book, The Biology of Belief, as well as Joe Dispenza has talked a lot about this. They're just quoting research that's been done that our habitualized behaviors are residing in our belief system, and our belief system is residing in our subconscious, meaning it's just below our awareness. That the vast majority of people, I mean, all people have, they used to say 95%. Some more research was done and they updated it and found that people's behaviors are being driven by their subconscious beliefs, and that 98% of all the things that we believe about ourselves and therefore believe about others. If you've heard that saying, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. It's referring to that. So when we awaken, we start to awaken to the beliefs that are in the subconscious and how those are driving our behaviors. Also, when we're triggered according to our perception, and perceptions can be examined. But when we are reacting to worst case perceptions, and it happens instantaneously. We think that we're conscious and we're aware of it. Therefore, we assign like, this is truth. This is what she's doing, or this is what he's doing. This is what mom's doing, what dad's doing, what my child is doing. And that is actually being initially filtered through a subconscious belief that we probably don't know that we even have or carry, because we've carried it for, since we were children. And we need to make shifts in consciousness, is shifts in awareness of the things that I believe, that 98% that's in my subconscious. And none of those shifts can happen until compassion is present, because sometimes we believe, and often we believe, some things that are not easy to see about ourselves. And those will remain in the subconscious until there's enough compassion that can surface. And when it surfaces, then we won't judge ourselves for having that belief, because as soon as you see, oh, this is a thing that I believe about myself, therefore that's driving this lens or this perception, and that may not be fully accurate, but my behavior then showed up this way and expressed itself this way, it's very easy to judge ourselves. So Almaas has a great quote that says, only when compassion is present is it safe enough for the truth to reveal itself, or the truth to surface. So it's really about the way to make these shifts in consciousness. We have to first be rooted and grounded in compassion. The ego, our inner protector, will not let these beliefs come out if our um, mind is going to beat ourselves up, judge ourselves, shame ourselves. And so there's this kind of checks and balance that's happening inside of us, which is the job of the ego. All of that starts to dissipate and go away when we can have compassion, because the beliefs that we have that are driving these behaviors and getting the results, these patterned behaviors of that we don't want to have in our life keep showing up. That just has, those have to be met with compassion so that we can see what's in the subconscious. So the main purpose and point of these videos is to also create a foundation of compassion. So we'll have some videos on that and how to have compassion for yourself. And those will be things that we can do in our one-on-one sessions and be able to like actually get into the nitty-gritty of where we're being really hard on ourselves. The hardest thing that I had with it is that I felt like if there wasn't punishment, then there would be apathy. And the data and the research is actually, and my own anecdotal experience and the experience of many of my friends and clients, is that we actually are not apathetic when we meet ourselves with compassion, and when our inner circle and our community meets us with compassion, regardless of the behavior, because there are no illogical behaviors. When we can understand the premise of them, then it becomes safe enough to be accountable. So it's very hard for humans to be accountable because accountability doesn't have anything to do with punishment. In fact, punishment is what keeps accountability at a distance. So there's a very big difference between admittability and accountability. And most of us will have enough character to, or integrity, to admit our wrongdoing, but we brace for punishment. Admittability is not accountability. Accountability comes because it will actually, it's a virtue, and it will actually create a shift in the deep-seated subconscious beliefs that we have and allow us to fully look at it and then say, that's not the results that I want to have anymore, so I need to make these changes. So without punishment, we actually are more motivated and more driven to make better choices in our life. And all the videos, you know, you hear me quoting the different thought leaders and the different science and everything. That's not to convince you of a new way of thinking or shifting your belief system. What it is trying to lead to, though, is a way to be more compassionate for ourselves and with ourselves. So I hope that makes sense. Drop a comment if you want me to clarify that in further details and make another video. But I think the subsequent videos that are going to come are eventually going to contextualize all of this. And this allows us to have faster, deeper conversations that actually get applied in our life instead of just sitting here thinking about it. Hope that makes sense, and look forward to seeing you in the next videos.